You want to have more than just a mention on the channel? Send me one of these. Take it away, Don.
Hi, my name is Don Johnson. No, not that one. I live in Somerset in the UK. I watch your programme regularly and I'd like to give you a boom!
Okay, we are going to start this episode by making the drawer boxes. And let me go over the anatomy of a drawer for those of you that aren't familiar. In my case, my drawer fronts are longer than my drawer sides, just because I have some wide cabinets. So you have your drawer front, your drawer back, and your two sides, along with your bottom. Now to make these drawers extra strong to where they will last a long time, we're going to incorporate a special kind of joint for the backs and the fronts. As you can see, the drawer front is led into the drawer sides. This will prevent the drawer from being pulled away from the sides as the pulling action occurs when you open and shut the drawer. So as I take the side off, you can see that there is a dado that will accept the offset tongue for the lock joint, as well as a groove all the way down the length of the board that accepts the drawer bottom. What we're going to start with right now is setting up the dado stack with the two outer blades to make this dado to accept the tongue. Now the next thing we're going to do is set the depth of the blade, and using this brass bar, which you can get at Rockler, it is machined to an exact thickness of 1/4 inch. So we're going to put that right next to the blade and then lower the blade teeth to where it's just at the very top of that brass bar. Now the reason why I went with 1/4 inch depth is because it's been proven the most effective depth for the joint strength of your dados and grooves. Since my plywood is 3/4 inch, I only went 1/4 inch, which is 1/3 of the thickness. That's about the depth that you want to go. Now we're setting the fence up to the exact thickness of a piece of plywood to the outside part of the dado stack. That way, when we go to make the groove this direction, the leftover amount and the groove itself will be the thickness of the piece of plywood that will be on the very front, adjacent to it. Now the next thing I want to do is to take off the outer blade on the left side and put a chipper blade in between the two so I can make the tongues. The reason why I do this, even though the tongue is 1/4 inch deep and 1/4 inch thick, I have to get the piece of wood very close to my fence in order to make that cut if I was to leave these two pieces on there. If I take a chipper blade and put in between the two, then I can take a sacrificial fence on top of my existing fence and hide a partial bit of the blade so I can sneak up on the exact measurement of the depth of the tongue. Alright, now we need to rearrange the dado stack again to cut the slots or the grooves for the 1/2 inch drawer bottom. Also, don't forget to set it back down to 1/4 inch depth. Alright, now we're just going to cut the drawer bottoms so we can do the assembly. Now as you can see, I did dados on both edges of these drawer sides. Sometimes people put dados that will accept an entire 3/4 inch sheet right here on the back. The one bad thing about that is that if you run the dados for the drawer bottom all the same way, when you go to put them together, the opposite side will have a groove for the drawer bottom right here on the top, and it won't work. The reason why I do the dados for the offset tongue on both ends are for two reasons. One, it helps maximize the length or the width of the drawer to capture the most important real estate if you want it. Also, you do not have to worry about a front and back of the drawer because these are exactly the same. They will work on left and right sides of the drawer, no matter what. Assembly is very easy. We're only going to glue the drawer fronts and the sides together. However, the drawer bottom will just float. So just make sure that you have glue in your grooves and on the mating surfaces. Now with the drawer bottom in, go ahead and put the other side on. All right, now installation of the toe kick drawer slides are probably going to be the easiest. As you remember, before I installed these cabinets, I put in the drawer slides previously just to make sure that I wasn't going to run into a problem installing them. Now the installation of this is really very simple. This is the top of the drawer bottom is facing me. Now since the drawer slide is installed at the top of the cavity, we're also going to do the same thing with this part of the slide and install it at the top of the drawer. By doing this, the slide that's inside the cabinet will have a 3/8 inch reveal, maybe a 1/4 inch reveal at the very top, so it will allow room for the drawer to slide in and out without any binding against the cabinet. Now comes the installation of the 5-inch drawers. Now, as you can see, I have a beadboard bottom on this particular drawer. This is going to be for the desk section of the cabinet. Why did I put beadboard in? Because I wanna. Boom! So in order to make the installation of the adjacent part of the drawer slide that goes along with this, we just need to take a measurement from the top of the drawer to the center of the slide so we can locate the other, which in this case is 3.5 inches. Now taking that measurement that we just found, we're going to measure from the underneath side of the cabinet to the 3.5 inch mark. However, if we do that, it's going to rub just a little bit. So come down to 3 3/4 inches. That'll give you a 1/4 inch clearance for the drawer to pass back and forth. Now there are many ways to go about installing a drawer slide. The easiest, but possibly the hardest, is holding the drawer slide by hand up against the cabinet with a bubble level on top, making sure that it's right flush with the edge of the cabinet, and then screw it in place while holding it at the same time. Not very easy to do. However, you could go with particular jigs that are engineered to do that very job and will make your life that much easier. Now, you don't necessarily have to do that because you can fashion yourself some of your own, but I already have in my possession some jigs from Rockler's Jig It line. And you just set it up to the side of your cabinet, then take your level, or not your level, but your drawer slide, set it right on top. Now I'm going to take a bandy clamp and clamp it right in place. Now there's another pretty good method for installing drawer slides, and I actually have one in my hand right now, and Rockler came up with it again. It is a universal drawer slide jig, and it's actually really pretty cool. You just take the drawer slide with the mechanism facing the jig. There's a little channel that it fits in, and you use this device right here to clamp it down. Now, because it's all butted up in the exact spot, it presets that back set automatically for you, so you don't even have to worry about it. Now, just take the jig with the slide in encased, extend the slide out so you can access the holes, and then put the jig up to the cabinet. Now, there's an indexing rod right here that will allow you to preset the height of where this drawer slide needs to be so it'll be the same all the way down the cabinetry. Now, you can choose to clamp this in place or just simply hold it with one hand. Grab your drill with screw in hand, making sure to push up against the jig so it doesn't slip, and then screw it down. Now, just take the clamp loose and finish installing your screws. All right, just like that, installation is done. Well, as you can see, I'm going to have tons of drawer storage now, and I won't have to reach back into the cabinet to find stuff. Well, now comes the fun part, stocking it up. Well, guys, I hope you enjoyed part 4 of this video series. Remember, if you missed the first 3 parts, go back. I will leave links in the description, or you can just find my playlist. I want to thank you all for your comments, for your likes, your shares, and the boomer videos. Don't forget to send those in so you can give me one of these. Boom!